before we get to your innings, did you think you had enough out there?
I think we probably thought we were about par. We knew that the ball obviously flies here and it was a really good wicket and they've got a really strong batting lineup. So yeah, I guess we probably thought we were about par, and then I think the difference was probably the way Rooty batted through. I'd say that was the difference between the two sides.
How do you feel batting out there? That looks like perfect conditions.
Yeah, it's obviously an unreal place to bat. I mishit a few that I thought I'd be caught on, and they seem to just keep going. So yeah, it's a nice place to bat. I was pretty gutted getting out how I did. I think obviously playing a bit now, I know the value of someone batting the whole way through and sort of making a really big contribution, I guess. But yeah, it was great fun.
Given what the conditions were and as favourable as they were for batting, when you guys, halfway, what was the discussion around the bowling plans and what you guys felt about was needed to do to try and keep them under?
I think we thought potentially like slowies wouldn't like grip necessarily, but they'd hold a bit in the wicket and that would make it a touch tougher. But yeah, to be honest, I think it seemed like everything we threw at them, they sort of had an answer for it. And I'd put that down to them batting really well and, like you said, the favourable conditions.
One of the things is you guys have, I think you've won just one game so far, been very unlucky with weather. Does this stress start to build now? You're close to the halfway stage and Pretoria just doesn't feel like the Capitals have got started yet.
I wouldn't say we're stressed. I think 4 out of 6 teams qualify and things change really quickly. So I think we know if we fire, we can beat anyone in this comp. So I think all we need is a few things start going our way, and then I think you can really see this group sort of make a big impact on this comp.
Obviously a lot has been made about how much Joe is added in the background in the change room, particularly with Luandre. But we got to see him as Joe the batter out there today, as someone that has done this your whole life. How much pleasure did you get from watching how he played?
Yeah, I mean, just you can't take class away from someone. He's one of the best players, in my opinion, ever. He's right up there, and with that kind of class, he can adapt in so many different situations, and that's how we see him. Being such a kind of a leader, kind of steadies the ship really well in our conditions back at home, and he's really coming. We're just loving the way that he's playing and started. I mean, today was just phenomenal. Just really good cricket shots. Straight drives, cover drives, pulls. And everyone thinks bashing T20. He's come in there and played a very elegant 80-odd match-winning innings. So it's really pleasing to see him in the space that he is at, and I'm just so happy for him doing really well in the T20 format.
Just take us, you came in the back half of that innings in that round chase. Just take us into the kind of conversations that the two of you have out there in terms of managing that situation and managing that round chase.
Yeah, it's actually quite a difficult one, to be honest with you, because we were so far ahead in the run rate, but obviously still needing 11s, but going very comfortably. And then as you sort of get to the back end, you start feeling a little bit more pressure, because now you kind of, you've done so well all, for the first 16, 17 overs, and you kind of need to go, and then you kind of start thinking, okay, well, now we've got to finish the game off. So it's kind of like it's a very different kind of feeling, but for us it was more just concentrating on limiting the dot balls. The boundary options were always there. It was a really nice wicket. Every now and again kind of just kept a bit low, but just trying to limit the dot balls towards the back end. I mean, Joe was in a full flow there, and I was kind of at a stage, I was wanting to actually just take the game forward. If I got out, I got out. I wanted to do it my way, and obviously, and then get us ahead of the game as well. So it worked really well, and just so happy that Joe, saw the innings all the way through.
Just obviously those are perfect batting conditions throughout. When it came to coming up with bowling plans, what were you guys targeting on that surface?
Well, we thought there was a bit of a weather around. We've heard there's been weather around, so we thought we'd go with more seam this particular game. So we did a couple changes there, and then it ended up being an absolute belter. And they kind of just went at 10s the whole way through, and then got to the last over and got 24 in the last over. So for us, I thought the guys bowled really well, stuck to their plans. Obviously, everyone's human. They're going to go for 4s and 6s, and that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it happens, so it's sticking to your plans. And at the back end with Malinga there, it was, 1 or 2 unlucky shots with Nick's 4s, and then obviously 1 or 2 really good shots. So it's part of the game. But, there's always 2 sides to a game, and it was really nice to finish it off.
I just wondering your thoughts on your debutants going out here, seeing how Ruben went playing in front of his crowd in a sense.
Yeah, generally don't like to chop and change a team too much. I like to have consistency, but in our squad we've got a lot of variation in our squad, and I think with the different conditions that we find ourselves, we're pretty open and honest about the fact that we might have to change 1 or 2 players just tactically for a particular game. And he came in and he was one of those guys, with overseas and, balancing the players and selection. So really difficult selection, but I mean, he came in and we had full faith in him, and he's done really well, and, just shown a lot of energy and just always wanting to learn, and a great vibe around the team. So it's just so nice to see a guy like that come in and do well first game. A little bit nervy up front, but as he got into his flow and his innings, I mean, he was a game changer.
For some of the batters who were batting, that's another partnership with Joe Root, of course, and you've seen lots with Luanda as well. Do you think there's a benefit, particularly with younger players, though, in seeing that kind of innings you described from Joe, that involves a lot of very classical cricket shots? What effect do you think that might have on the younger players?
I think it's more just the guys, the younger guys can see that it's, you're capable of playing an innings like that. But I think ultimately everyone's very different individually. We have all our different strengths, and I think it's about making sure you stick to those strengths no matter what. Win or lose, don't score runs. You just got to stick to, what you believe is your strength. I think it's just it's an eye-opener in the sense that it's nice to see someone like Joe Root go about the innings that he did, and he took on the bowlers when he needed to, but in really stylish fashion.
Just pop one from a national team perspective. You've got the new ED who came into this tournament and not played a lot of cricket for a while. Obviously, it would be quite difficult for him to kind of get into some rhythm before he goes to a big ICC tournament. How do you think he's faring at the moment? Against conditions like that.
Yeah, definitely. He's been out for a bit. He's put in the work and the hard graft, most certainly, and we back him. I've always backed him, and I always will. I find we're just building slowly. He's come in. He's played two games. This was his third one. Only bowled 3 overs tonight, or this afternoon. But I mean, he's definitely going to come right in the right time of the tournament. He's been bowling really well and with a lot of energy, so it's nice to see. And yeah, we're just going to gradually build that up as we go along. We've still got, I think it's 6 games.